Okay, I'm going to call the Town of Wenham Board of Selectmen meeting of August 11th, 2020 to order. We've already done the executive session, so I guess we begin with announcements, and that's Gary. Gary.
So announcements. First one, open meeting law summer school is offered August 19th. The registration is open for an open meeting law summer school via Zoom on Wednesday, August 19th at 7 p.m. This online offering will be presented by Director of Administrative Services Jackie Bresnahan and Town Clerk Diane Bucco. You'll be able to learn how to structure more productive meetings with topics including building agendas, meeting posting procedures, meeting minutes, open meeting law basics, Zoom meeting etiquette, and keeping the meeting on task. Second announcement, Conservation Commission will be voting on the tree removal policy for the wetlands on August 24th at their meeting. The Conservation Commission will review and vote on the draft policy under the State Wetlands Protection Act. View the draft tree removal policy on our Selectmen's meeting package or on the town website, and contact the Conservation Coordinator, Missy Berry, with questions or comments. The third, very important, is state primary early voting starts August 22nd, runs through August 28th. Early voting in person will be available for the fall 2020 elections during the state mandated time periods. An application is not required to vote early in person. Please note that because of space limitations and the pandemic, no more than 4 voters will be allowed in town hall to vote early at any given time, so be patient. So there's hours that you can check on the town website, but it begins on August 22nd and runs through the 28th. And the fourth announcement, a repeat announcement, that we still need letters of interest from folks to join boards and committee openings. We have 3 openings on the Audit Committee, 2 on the Conservation Commission, 2 openings on the Council of Aging Board, 2 on the Finance and Advisory Committee, 1 on the Community Access and Media, that's a joint with the Hamilton and Wenham. The Hamilton Wenham Cultural Council has 3 openings, 7 openings still on the Open Space and Recreation Committee. Veterans Committee has 3 openings. Wenham Connects Committee that we really want to get going is 7 openings, and the Zoning Board of Appeals has 2 associate member openings, one for 1 year and the other for a 2-year term. So all you need to do is send in a letter of interest to Nikki at Town Hall, and we'll review your resume and try to get you to work on one of the many committees that the town is in need of filling. Thank you. Any other announcements from anybody?
I don't think so.
Back to you then, Jack.
All right, thank you. Let's see. We're going to go back to I don't think I'm doing this really well. Conservation Commission.
Well, the next is a town administrator report.
Yeah, just a few things while you're looking, Jack. You want me to just start?
Yeah, please.
Sure. So the FY21 state aid, and that including Chapter 70, was level funded. I'm not sure if I mentioned that at the last meeting, but I wanted to mention that. Second thing I just want to bring up is congratulations to our treasurer collector, Sherry LeBlanc, who was accepted into the MMA Suffolk University Municipal Finance Seminar. That's going to be some training for her. It was a competitive process, and Sherry got selected, so that's great news. And the last thing that announcement, I'm going to defer to Chief Perkins, who discuss over the weekend with the passing of Sergeant Joe Herrick. Chief.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, we lost one of our older veterans from the department over the weekend. Joe and his family moved away to Vermont some time ago, but Joe played a significant role in the Wenham Police Department. He actually, when he was added to the ranks back in the 1970s by Chief Ed Harridan, he was the first officer that actually gave the town round-the-clock coverage. So for the first time ever, we had 24-hour coverage in town, and that was the role that Joe played.
Wow, that's an interesting piece of history.
So he did that by himself?
Back then, yeah. Yep.
Okay, Chief, how do you accomplish the same task today?
Not even remotely possible.
So I was intrigued by he retired. You told I learned from Anthony through you, I guess. He retired with a disability in the 70s.
Yes, sir.
That was 40 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. He lived a long time with that disability. Good.
Yes.
All right. Anything else?
That's it, Jack. The consent
Okay,
agenda.
we're going to go on to the consent agenda. That's you, Gary.
Wait a minute, before you leave the reports, I'd like to take the opportunity, Mr. Chairman, to recommend that the Board of Selectmen take a vote to instruct the town administrator to begin conducting the Board of Selectmen meetings in the town hall going forward.
Gary, you want to comment on that at all?
Well, I think at some point we need to move back into the town hall and have the meetings in person. I think there may be some technology issues that we need to overcome first, but I think at some point we need to be able to have face-to-face meetings to get their work done rather than just rely on Zoom in the future.
I've been talking to Anthony about this frequently, and that I understand there were some technical difficulties, quote unquote. I think we still have to have Zoom meetings there, but I'm told by Nikki that we're allowed to have 8 people in the selectmen's room.
No, it's 8 people per 1,000 square feet, which means the selectmen's room's only 703 square feet, which that would make 5.
Okay. 5. Let's see, 3 of us, you and the recording secretary is 5. Am I counting right?
Bill Melville.
If it's on Zoom, I don't know. One way or the other, I agree with John, and that we need to be able to. Okay, I'll volunteer to be in another room. Okay, and that you can be. Gary and John and Bill Melville and you and the recording secretary. I'll be in the damn room off the side in the someplace else in the building. I think I want to have. I agree with John. I want to have selectmen's meetings, even though they're on Zoom, in that room. When can that be possible? I know that you had some Wi-Fi issues and stuff like that, but last time I met with you 10 days ago, you were well on the way to fixing it. Where are we standing now?
And as we discussed, we would start in September. So we would do the next meeting on August 25th through Zoom until we have all of the technology ready, and then we'd be ready for first meeting September 8th.
Could you advise us what technology is necessary and why it's going to take a month?
Nikki was working on it. I don't have all the answers to that. I know that there was connections that we had to get both for the iPads. You needed splitters because you needed to have your headsets on if we were going to use Zoom, and you were just going to be using Zoom to be in the same meeting. So there's splitters, adapters, hardwired to our Wi-Fi and not relying upon the Wi-Fi going right direct connect. So, and then I think that Nikki was talking with Bill Melville, which I think he's on. I know he's doing the meeting anyways, and I'm not sure where, if Bill's all set too, so.
Well, any reason we couldn't just put it on camera like we've been doing for the last couple of decades?
open meeting law requires that the meeting have access to the public. So
And that gives us access to the public.
it's
Isn't that why we have the cameras in the room?
that still has to allow people to attend the meeting in public.
We can have a Zoom meeting and that, actually, I'm thinking about it, and that we don't have to have Catherine Tinsley present in the room. She could watch on Zoom and take the minutes like she does anyway. So it still could be John, myself, and Gary, you, and Bill Melville in the room, and that's 5. And so we can still do it in early September to have all 3 selectmen present in the same room, right?
And that's what I started by saying, yes.
Oh, I can, okay. John?
Okay, so you're committing to what date again, Anthony?
We're working on September 8th, John.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Are we working on the consent agenda, Gary? I think so.
Yes. Well, the consent agenda tonight, let me speak first. It's partially announcement, so people ought to know that the community house is going to have their rolling block party on Saturday, August 29th. So instead of one place, it'll be a more of a parade type route, and we want everyone to turn out for that. And secondly, put this on your calendar, on Saturday, September 19th, Vicky Morenzi's 4th annual For the Love of Pete motorcycle ride fundraiser will occur. So I'll make the motion here. Move that the Board of Selectmen vote to approve the consent agenda, including the following: the open session meeting minutes of July 7th, 2020 and July 30th, 2020, and the executive session minutes of June 23rd, 2020 and July 7th, 2020, holding both sets of executive session minutes. B, request the use of Wenham Streets for the community house for the rolling block party on Saturday, August 29th. And third, request to use Wenham Streets for Vicky Morenzi's 4th annual For the Love of Pete motorcycle ride fundraiser on Saturday, September 9th.
I'll second your motion, Gary, and I've got a comment to expand your communication on the community house block party. It's being converted to a parade. I guess that's going to start over at the high school and come through both towns. And they're involving all kinds of kids in the community. And it really sounds like it's going to be a wonderful event with a lot of excitement for the kids to participate in or just stay on the sidelines and observe. So, thank you.
This is not on the agenda in front of me, but I'm aware that, and Anthony, you can amplify on this, that the Wenham Museum is going to be holding an event on their property as well as the town hall's property very soon. So what is the date for that again?
I believe it was August 25th, Jack.
Okay. So we might want to put a plug in for the museum that they're having, that's a Saturday, right?
Actually, I'm looking at my calendar. August 25th is a Tuesday. So
Tuesday.
maybe 29th. Maybe it was the 29th then. I think it was, I'm not sure. I don't recall the date off the top of my head. I can look it up.
We may not. Anyway, I think that we should put on our website that, no, maybe not. I don't know. We should talk about, I'm just trying to let the public know that the museum is sponsoring not a Wenham Day. We don't do that anymore, unfortunately. They're going to have occasions on the lawn selling their wares, both on the lawn of the museum as well as the front lawn of the town, and that they've satisfied the town's requests for liability coverage, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and that perhaps, are we having a meeting between now and the 29th?
25th.
Okay, so let's make sure we put that on the agenda to remind people, if it is the 29th, that I think it would be remiss on our part if we didn't mention that and help them a little bit.
Yeah, good thinking, Jack. We don't do that many events.
No, we don't. And that took some doing, by the way, too, as I well know. Okay, let's see. Now we're into
I think I made the motion, and I think we need a vote on the consent agenda.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Clemenza, aye.
Cheeseman, aye. Thank you.
And we're holding the minutes of the executive session, right, Gary?
That's affirmative.
Okay. Okay, new business, Community Preservation Committee, CPC Committee. We have several applicants here, but this is now a 3-year term rather than a 2-year term. Janet Burt, the Burt's widow, has submitted a letter of interest to be a member of the committee, and that I would entertain a motion to appoint her to the committee.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye,
Clemenza, aye.
Gary, aye.
unanimous. Congratulations, Janet Burt.
Jack, just for the record, that is effective, obviously, today through June 30th, 2023.
Thank you,
That was-
Mr. Yep, okay. Next, we have the appointment to the Hamilton Wyndham Joint Recreation Committee.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. And,
Oh, it's a reappointment, Jack.
reappointment. Okay, let's see.
I got a motion. It's John Crissolino. I think I said that right.
You did.
Does someone move that? If not, I'll move it. I move that we appoint John Crissolino, who's been on there forever, when I was a little boy, to the Joint Rec Committee from August 11th to June 30th, 2023. He's doing a great job too. So is the Joint Rec Committee, by the way. They're all doing a great job.
I'll second the motion, Mr. Chairman.
All in favor?
Clemenza, aye.
Cheeseman, aye.
Jack Willem, aye. Thank you, John, for re-upping, so to speak. Historic District Commission, we have moved that the Board of Selectmen appoint. Fill in the blank for me, Anthony.
So as of as the time that we had the agenda and the packet go out, we had received 4 letters, Harriet Davis, Lisa Beneke, Mary Wood, and Kelly Schmidt. And then over the weekend, not included on the agenda was, I'm sorry, I forget her name.
Mimi?
Millie, is it?
Mimi?
Mimi, yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, Mimi. So, but those are the 4 that we had before. If you want to just do these 4 and do Mimi next meeting, that's your call.
Well,
I just suggest we put her on now.
yeah, me too. Otherwise, John and I are in trouble with somebody else in town. Anyway. How many openings do we have? 4?
We have 4 openings.
And how many? And we have 5 applicants.
1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 applicants. That's correct.
And what do you think, John? What do you think we should do?
Well, does that board committee have like an apprenticeship? What's it called? Like an apprenticeship? What's it called?
Associate?
Associate member.
Oh, they don't. I don't think so, John.
Jack,
Oh, they don't. I don't think so, John.
Jack,
Yep.
Jack,
I'm hearing it. Jack. That's my name. I'm
Jack.
hearing it. Jack. That's my name.
Yes, it's Harriet Davis. I'm the vice chairman
Go ahead.
of the HDC. We have 4 slots and there are 4 who would like to continue.
Who are they?
That excludes Kelly Schmidt.
He doesn't want to continue?
Kelly Schmidt was a new applicant, Jack. So you had the 4 that were.
No.
So you had the 4 that were.
No.
So you had the 4 that were.
No.
So you had the 4 that were.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay, so according to the list here that I have from Nikki, there was 4 positions. And on the list we had Harriet Davis, Lisa Beneke, Mary Wood, and Kelly Schmidt had submitted her name. But since then, we also got the email that Mimi wants to be reappointed. So we have 5 letters of interest for 4 positions.
Didn't I hear, didn't I hear Harriet say that somebody was not interested in coming back on?
No, there was 4 reappointments,
Oh,
looking for reappointment, and 1 new applicant. You have 4 positions to fill,
okay.
4 3-year terms.
Well, not sure what to do with this. I'm not,
If you,
Any recommendations from the Historic District Commission, Harriet?
somebody unmute, please.
yeah, you try and I,
Unmute. We should appoint the 4 existing members. We should appoint the 4 existing members. We should appoint the 4 existing members.
Okay, if I can get some information, I'd be glad to call this other woman, Mimi, and just thank her for her interest and see
No.
if maybe she's interested in something else.
Mimi's a reappointment, John. It's Kelly Schmidt was the new applicant.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's on the agenda.
I'm going to make a motion that we reappoint the existing members who have given us letters of interest to continue in the Historic District Commission. The 4 people whose terms are expiring and have set letters of interest in to continue on.
So moved.
Gary?
Aye.
John, I.
Aye. So that would be everybody, but bring me back to the, Anthony, bring me back to the last slide, please.
Sure.
That would be everybody but Kelly Schmidt. But thank you, Kelly, for sending a letter of interest in. And then if there's an opening next year, you'll be on the top of the list for us to, if you submit another letter of interest, to be considered for next year. But again, I want to thank you for your letter of interest. And we're reappointing all of the existing members who have submitted letters of interest to be continuing on the Historic District Commission. So my vote is aye as well. So I think it's unanimous. You have that vote, Anthony?
Yes, I think Catherine Tinsley has it.
Okay, next.
So the Iron Rail Commission, you have
Want to put on the slide for us?
1 reappointment,
One.
Edward Batchelder for reappointment, and Erica Champa as a new applicant. And let me show the information.
Please.
You have 2 openings. So again, you have a reappointment in Edward Batchelder and a new applicant, Erica Champa.
Siampa.
Siampa. So we have 2 openings and two people who want to be on there, right?
That's correct.
Mr. Batchel has been on there for quite a long time, right?
That's correct.
Good for him.
Long term.
Long term. And that, okay, John, you're familiar with this. You want to make a motion?
I motion that we renew the request for renewal for,
It's on the screen, John.
oh yeah, okay, sorry. Ted Batchelder, and then the new appointment, I strongly support Erica C. Ampa as a new member to the board of, to the Iron Rail Commission.
I'll second.
June 30th, 2023.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, I second. You agree? Gary Cheeseman?
Aye.
John, I.
Jack Willem, that's unanimous. Congratulations. Anthony, next slide, please.
Go 1 second. Okay, you have 4 openings for 2-year terms. We received 4 letters of interest from Wynn Dodge, Joe Hostler, Judy Bobrisky, and Erica Chiampa. Erica would be a new applicant.
All outstanding citizens of Wenham, absolutely. So that, Gary, you want to make a motion on this one?
So I move that the Board of Selectmen appoint Albert W. Dodge, Joseph P. Hostler, Judith Bobrisky, and Erica Chiampa as a member of the Affordable Housing Trust effective August 11th, 2020 through June 30th, 2022.
John, you wait a second. Did I hear a second from you, John?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, I agree as well. All in favor? Aye.
Gary,
Aye.
aye.
So go back, Anthony, bring that slide up again, please.
1 second.
Technical difficulties here. I just want to mention that Wynn Dodge, Joe Hostler, and Judy Robinski have been members. Wynn Dodge was made a member, I think, last year. Joe Hostler is the chairman of the board. Judy Robinski has been on there for a while. And that thank you so much for, they're very passionate about affordable housing. And thank you for Erica for volunteering to be filling the open position. And by the way, just as a comment, at the last meeting, one member of the Affordable Housing Trust, which consists of 7 members, needs to be, by the trust documents, a member of the Board of Selectmen, and that we appointed John Clemency as that selectman appointee to the committee at our last meeting. So they're off and running, and that I can't wait to hear how we're going to be doing on this Maplewoods, which has been mucking around here now for like 4 or 5 years. And that
Well, I'm glad you asked that, Jack, because what that subject was discussed at our meeting last week, my first meeting with the group. And we will be getting a full report from Andrew DeFranza on our next meeting.
yeah, I think at our very next meeting, we should put the Maplewoods on the agenda, because I understand that there was an appeal period that expired with the ZBA, with a 20-day appeal period. Is Margaret Hoffman still on here someplace?
She is.
I am, Jack, yep.
Yeah, we want to comment on that. Is the 20-day appeal period expired?
It did expire. The decision was finalized by the ZBA in July, and then we sent it to the town clerk, and the 20-day appeal period did expire with no appeal being taken.
What are the next steps then, Margaret?
Then it's really in their court now. The Andrew DeFranza and Harbor Light are now working on funding for the project.
We can get them to give us a report. You can give the report. Somebody can give the report at our very next meeting. This has been going on for now several years, and now that all of the appeals have expired, I think it'd be helpful for the town to understand where do we stand on Maplewoods exactly.
Okay. Absolutely. I actually heard from Andrew DeFranza today, and he is prepared to give an update to the Affordable Housing Trust. I'll contact him and have him attend your next meeting.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yep.
A lot of people are going to be interested in this because that's going on for years. Good. Thank you. Okay. Next, Anthony. Thank you, Margaret.
And the last appointment for the evening is the Zoning Board of Appeals. There's currently 1 full member open for 3-year term in the ZBA. And we have 2 applicants tonight, Jeremy Coffey and Dana Egan.
Yes, and that Jeremy served several years in the committee. Dana's also served in the committee as an associate, and that I move that we appoint Dana Began as a member of the 3-person zoning board of appeals. Do we hear a second?
I'll second.
Gary?
Votes aye.
Okay, all in
John.
favor? Aye. Okay,
John,
that's
aye.
unanimous. Congratulations, Dana. Next slide, Anthony.
So next up, Jack, is the next item on the agenda. It's E. And Gary is going to do the introduction.
Will do. Well, I'd like to welcome our new superintendent as of 1 July of this year, coming in at a very challenging time. But Ms. Banos is here tonight to first chance to meet with the Wenham Board of Selectmen at a meeting, but give us an update on a very comprehensive plan that she and her staff have worked out to probably open with a hybrid setup for the schools this year. So welcome, Ms. Banos, and we're really happy to have you here and hear what you have to say about the plan. And one more thing, I hope everybody in town, parents and others as well, pay attention to this, because this is not only a school interest, this is the whole community needs to get behind one plan so that we can move forward with this. Thank you. Ms. Banos.
Good job, Gary.
Thank you very much for that kind introduction. And I want to again thank the board for inviting me to your meeting this evening. If what I'd like to do, and Anthony, just checking that this is okay, I would share my screen in order to talk through some of the key elements of our plan.
Sure.
Are you okay with that?
Yep.
Anthony, it's indicating that.
Yeah, I just made you a co-host so you can.
All right, I've got the power, huh?
You got the power.
There we go.
Well, the power is right.
So we have been hard at work trying to figure out how we reopen our schools this fall. This is a picture of members of our design team meeting over the past several weeks, looking at all aspects of the reopening challenges and formulating a plan. So one of the things that we have been talking about as we process through these unprecedented waters are some key messages. And the first one is that as we build this plan, as we navigate the situation, we know that uncertainty is a given and answers will evolve. We know many of our families would like to know exactly what's going to happen and want as much information as they can have as soon as possible, but many of the answers continue to evolve in the situation. The other thing that we know that we're sitting with is that in these new circumstances, learning will change. That is unavoidable, and that change will bring both opportunity and loss. And then finally, in terms of key messaging, our goal is to work together with flexibility and collaboration and recognize one another's positive intent, right? We're all trying to get through this together, and many people are sitting with some really challenging situations. Couple of other thoughts as we navigate through is this idea of beginning with the end in mind, right? Where do we want to be as a community when this is over? This will end. Who do we want to say we have been as a community as we try to problem solve the remarkable complexity that's in front of us? I think it's also important to recognize that this is about people's children. And when you talk about people's children, strong emotions are understandable and expected. And then finally, what's the opportunity here to model flexibility and collaboration and empathy for different perspectives as we problem solve the crisis? So one of the things that it would be helpful for the board to know is that we have been tasked with submitting a plan to the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. Initially, the date was August 10th. They have extended that given the challenges that districts are running into in terms of getting final plans to August 14th. On here, and this was, I believe, sent to you in advance of this meeting, but this is the draft of the plan right now. It has, and just to give you a sense of the types of things that we're trying to navigate, we had to change the school calendar. We need to submit 3 different modes of teaching and learning that will be dependent on where we are related to the COVID virus, and a fully in-person model, a hybrid model where about half the students are in at times. Then, and for each model, we need an elementary model, a middle school model, a high school model. We've had to do all types of scheduling changes. Then we need a fully remote model. Then we need to think about our special populations, those learners that are most vulnerable. So you see plans for all of our special populations and how we will serve them. And then we have some families for whom they will need full remote learning. They will not be able to move back and forth given a variety of situations. So we need a plan for them. We need a plan for how we're going to address social emotional needs, assess students when they come back, intervention when they come back, and then a whole host of safety facilities, transportation, and operation protocols. So you see here some of the major issues that we've addressed. There are still more to come. And just to give you a sense, one of the guidelines that we're working with from the state is that buses can operate at about a third capacity as they normally do in order to be sure that students are appropriately socially distanced. So this is invigorating reading. So I invite folks to take a moment and read through it. But what I'm going to try to do now is talk you through some of the critical decision points. Go back here. So one of the things I wanted to be sure that the board and the community is aware of is that this plan does not say just make a decision whether you're going to be hybrid or remote or in person and develop that plan and submit it to the state. What is required of us is to be able to pivot from any of those 3 models. So we have to present models to the state under what we would do in person, what we would do in hybrid, and what we would do in remote. And as I noted as I was walking through the plan, we also need to be able to provide services to families whose children cannot pivot and need to stay totally remote. One of the pieces of information that may be helpful to you is in July, we surveyed our families, and 78% of our families indicated that they would like to see fully in-person or hybrid model for next year. In August, we again surveyed families and asked for their intention. Would they be looking at a hybrid model or being part of the fully remote model? And 81% of our families indicated that they would be interested in and are intending to enroll in what will likely be, should all things stay the same right now, a hybrid type of opening. The next piece is just an important reminder for everybody that we are really sitting in a situation where we need to act, that we unfortunately do not have a significant amount of time to debate this because of the fact that we need to be prepared to open for our students in the fall. We spent a great deal of time and energy gathering feedback on the creation of this plan. And one of the things that's really interesting and challenging is the wide disparity of viewpoints that exist in our community. We've been receiving lots of emails, and one email will indicate that it's absolutely critical that we go fully remote, and the next email will say, I need my student in school full time. And so we're trying to knit together all of those different needs. The plan is informed by stakeholder input, and we really relied heavily on our educators to provide their expertise around teaching and learning to inform this plan. We can't move forward with implementation until we have a plan, so that's particularly challenging. And that our goal here is to continue to provide the high quality education that our community expects of us. So one of the open questions right now is how will the learning model be decided? So if we have all these different modes that we can operate out of, what is the mechanism for determining which mode is appropriate? So one of the considerations that we have is working with our teachers union around critical safety provisions that need to be in place for teachers to feel comfortable and safe coming back, and obviously those extend to students. So we are working with our union to outline those provisions. And one of the things that we are saying need to be in place before we brought anybody back to the building is that those safety provisions have been achieved. The next piece is in terms of working with the boards of health. What are the metrics that we use to identify for us where the COVID trajectories are and what that says about bringing students safely back into schools? Whether that be in person with safety precautions, whether that be hybrid, or whether that be fully remote. Our plan is to have a team in place to review the data and to identify which would be the appropriate mode of learning. We intend to have the Board of Health, the lead school nurse, union representation, superintendent, school committee representation, and our director of facilities as all part of that team to look at that data. So this is the next piece that the committee is going to unpack. And then this is hot off the press as of today, as we've been thinking a lot about metrics at the state level. This is a question that has come up as well. And I'm not indicating that these are the ultimate metrics that we will use in Hamilton and Wenham, but it gives you a sense of what a metric model might look like. So if the average daily cases fall in this area, then it's signaling we should be in remote model. If it's within this area, hybrid, and if it's in this area, full-time in person. So we are continuing to work through this process. Our board will be voting on the plan this week. And we are also, again, engaging with the Board of Health to establish these metrics. And we anticipate submitting our plan by Friday. With that, I will stop there and be happy to answer any questions that the board may have.
Ms.
John.
Barrios, this is John Clemenza,
Hi, John.
Board of Selectmen. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
I saw you briefly at the town meeting, and thank you for attending.
It's nice to see you again.
Yeah, I want to strongly second Selectman Cheeseman's earlier comments about welcoming you aboard, and every bit is important. This is going to be a full team support. Everybody has got to get in the boat and pull in the same direction. You're going to have to be a master leader here, and I don't begin to envy your position, but you've got my support all the way through. So I look forward to meeting you at some point for one-on-one, but that'll happen at your convenience. In the meantime, if there's something else that I can help you with, or the board can, please let us know.
I appreciate that. And I really want to recognize that this is a team effort. Our educators, our administrators, our school committee, we've had students that have informed this plan. We have parents that have been deeply involved in this. So this is absolutely, as you indicated, a full-on community effort to do the right thing for our kids and for our community. And I have been so appreciative of the level of collaboration and investment that I've seen as we try to work through this. And I would also be remiss if I don't mention the Board of Health. They have been remarkable partners in this.
just one last comment is both of my now adult children have gone through the school system. So I'm very familiar with what the capacity and capabilities are, but you've now been handed a very, very different environment to work in. So thank you.
Any questions there, Jack?
I do. No, I have no question. I have a comment. I thought we had a tough job as the selectmen, and me in particular, coming up with the annual town meeting. But you have a much more difficult job trying to figure out how to satisfy all these competing interests in terms of having remote learning versus on-site learning, and that I'm sure that you got barraged by strong comments in both directions, or hybrids too. So good luck, and that it's a daunting challenge, and you have our support. Good luck.
I deeply appreciate that, and just want to continue to reiterate to the community that we care deeply about all of our children. And we are working as best as we possibly can to, again, knit and stitch something together that is recognizing the different needs and perspectives in the district. We know it's not going to be perfect. There's not going to be one solution that we're going to come up with that will feel perfect for everybody, but I do want to let all families know that they are important to us, their children are important to us, and working hard to come up with a solution that makes the most sense for everyone.
Well, thank you very much. Just two last points. Can you confirm that this full briefing is available on the school committee website? And two, if people have comments, where's the best place to send the emails to?
Great. So in turn, the last meeting of Monday, where the initial debate was going on related to the plan, I believe is now posted to the website. We will be posting the links to the school committee meeting so that people can see what is happening. There's also some links to chats that we've held with the community as well. If people have concerns, I would invite them to email the school committee, who will be the final decider of the plan. And to also, I would appreciate if they copy me so that I'm aware of the different thoughts and perspectives and concerns that are out there from our community.
Well, thank you very much for getting us up to date on this most critical matter. That's probably the biggest thing the town, both towns and the school committee face over the next couple of months here. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And again, thank you for your time.
Again, thank you. Good luck.
Thanks.
Anthony, tee it up. What's next?
All right, so the next item is F, discussion on the potential approval of the follow-up from the July 11, 2020 annual town meeting. There's two items for tonight. There's discussion and potential approval of a ban. So this is the first step in getting the fire truck. So as you recall, town meeting approved Article 5, which authorized borrowing for the replacement fire pumper. So I'll call that up.
John, this is your agenda item.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Jack. All right. I move that the Board of Selectmen vote to sign the bond application note issued on August 14th, 2020 in the amount of $475,000 with an interest rate of 0.70% to the TD Bank NA.
It's a bond anticipation note, just to make clarification.
Yes. All right.
Yeah.
Did I skip that word? Okay. On into the anticipation note. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have some questions about this, John and Anthony, so that I would have appreciated a memo summarizing that what are the particulars in this bond anticipation note. I got the interest rate of 0.7. I suppose that's pretty gosh darn good. The amount we already know, which was authorized by the town meeting. Who are we using as our bond counsel? Do we have a letter from the bond counsel recommending this particular scenario?
So Hilltop Securities is the company that we use, and they go out and shop the note and get the best rate. So yes, that would be the best that they got for us.
You know, did they send you a letter indicating that this is what they did? They shopped it, blah, blah, blah.
They didn't send me. I'm not sure if Sherry got something as the treasurer. The treasurer worked on this, so I don't have an answer to that question. Sherry couldn't make it tonight.
It's a lot of money, and that is there a timeline on this? Is there a critical time we have to approve this? I'd like,
Very, very critical because it has to go to the Department of Revenue, and they're doing that tomorrow. So we have a courier picking this up. So I need selectmen to sign off on this so we can get this in. Department of Revenue signs these, so it has to go to Boston, then it has to make its way for approval.
go over that again. Go over the time. So why is it so critical for us to approve this tonight and the state to get it tomorrow? I'm not sure I understand
Just told to me that it's critical that this gets done tonight so that Hilltop can send it over to the Department of Revenue, who has to approve these bans, and then they have to complete the whole borrowing process, and that needs to be done by tomorrow, I was told.
So what if it's not done for 2 weeks? What's the downside? I mean, I don't understand, you know.
And I don't know, they charge us again to go through the same thing, and hopefully we don't get a higher rate.
So does Sherry, is it Sherry or is it Chris Holak, who's the finance person behind this from the town?
Sherry, the treasurer.
I'm surprised she's not with us because we don't have a summary sheet. We've got a 100-page document to have gone through that tells us about nuts and bolts, but we don't have a summary sheet with recommendation from you, the town administrator. I'm very confused, or the finance director, or Sherry.
Well, Chris is on. Chris,
This is a $500,000 worth of spending we got.
Oh, okay, put Chris on. Okay, good. Where's Chris? Chris, you there? He's our finance director.
I don't see Chris in the list, Anthony.
All right.
Well, I'm not happy that neither one of them two were on to describe the process they went through and why this is a good deal. And that I'm not happy that, you know, if we don't do it tonight, there's some bad things going to happen. Like we get it done, and that not bad things, potentially bad. The rate could change. Of course, it should change. It could go down to, like my money market accounts, it could go down to 0.10, and that from 7. But
I agree with you, Jack. I never liked having to discuss and vote at the same time. I'm very surprised at this whole situation.
Anthony, I'm compromise that I think that I like Chris. He's our finance director, and that I'm really disappointed he's not on it tonight. It's pretty important. It's almost a $500,000 borrowing, and that Sherry's not on here either, and that's also disappointing. So I think that they should either jointly or individually authorize a memo ASAP to the 3 board selectmen members of what process they through in there that we should pay attention to, and what was bond counsel's recommendations about those covenants, because it's all about covenants, a lot of it. And I'm sure the interest rate is competitive. I'm not questioning that, although I'm not an expertise in on anticipation notes. And so that I would hope we can get, the 3 selectmen can get a memo from Chris Holak and Sherry, or combined or whatever, in the next 2 or 3 days, informing us as to the process they went through and why they selected TD Bank, and what the specific covenants are of the bond anticipation notes, if they're with that caveat, I guess I would reluctantly agree. Gary?
Yes, I think that, yeah, the rate is going to be competitive anyhow, but I do agree that we need to set up some sort of process to make sure that the Board of Selectmen have the full details on the borrowing of this size. So I think what we're saying is we're going to go ahead and approve this tonight, sign it tomorrow morning, the actual paperwork, but we do need a full explanation of how this is going to go forward.
What was the process? What was the process of selecting TD Bank and the rate? And I'm particularly interested in the covenants and the bonds.
Yeah, and also to your point, Jack, the ramifications, if we don't have this on the road by tomorrow, what are the problems with that, Anthony?
Well, I asked Anthony that question. I don't know. And he basically said that this,
I would imagine we'd have to start from the beginning.
But if it's done, it's done. All we need to do is get the adequate information so the board can make an intelligent decision or an informed decision.
well, John, that
If I knew that these were questions in advance, I could have had them on tonight, so.
That's why I don't ever want to see another situation where we're asked to review and then vote at the same time, unless it's a simple ride to raise funds on the roads or something. This is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Point of 7.
it's a $500,000 borrowing. They should have been on. One or both of them should have been on. So come on. And that,
I've spent a lot of time with the fire department to make sure that they're comfortable with what they're looking for here for a piece of equipment, endless amounts of time to make sure and understand it myself. So to come down to the final line and not have anybody of authority here to give us the input and advice, shocked.
So I'm going to reluctantly move that we go ahead and approve this, and that subject to receiving the documents I just requested from Anthony from my finance department in the next 2 or 3 days. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
John, I.
Jack, aye. So Anthony, please have the Sherry and Chris Hall sent to you, and then you send to us the information I requested a few minutes ago. Okay.
Yes, we'll do, and I just need signatures from you and Gary for,
In the morning to start.
thank you.
Why just Gary and I, not three? Why just? You mean 2 selectmen or?
I already had John sign it earlier.
All right. Okay. Next.
The next is the purchase of a fire pumper. So once we get the bond and we have the funds secured, then the fire department would like to move forward
Yep.
with the purchase procurement of the pumper truck. Both the chief and Jeff are on if you have any questions.
Well, I have not a question, but a comment, I suppose. I think that Chief Kavanaugh was asked at the town meeting, what about the old one? What's new? What's different about this one? And he went on to describe it. Steel's not going to rust, this, that, and the other thing. So I think there was a citizen asked him for that, and that I thought he gave a pretty good description of that, of why this is a superior piece of hardware than the last one we bought. So I don't know anything about pumpers, but I understand that the fire department has been working on this for months with the full support of those who are going to be using the equipment. And it's my understanding that they're all enthusiastic about the selection of this specific pumper in terms of getting into the fire department garage and out and what they need. And that is the chief on, by the way?
I am.
Okay, good. So you want to amplify what I said or contradict what I said? Whatever.
Nope. Engine 4 was built with a split frame. This is why it deteriorated the most, and it was I believe it was made with some pretty cheap steel, and and of course it was built, I think, for a southern state, because the road salt and everything else in the north really eats them away. The new engine that we would like to purchase is a one-piece frame, and the body of the truck is stainless steel, so it deters away from a lot of the problems Engine 4 had.
Gary, any questions for Chief?
No, I think I'm good. I mean, it's a comprehensive specifications, but I'd just like to, we have it on video now that this is exactly what the chief is confident that the department needs.
Yes. And you are more than welcome to come and we can discuss it further at any time. And we don't take receipt, Jack, until it's back in the station.
So John and I and Gary can have the first ride. Is that the idea?
That is correct.
Sure. John, you have more questions?
Just one last one for the chief, and that is, who actually places the order for this? Is that you?
The fire department will place the order, yes.
Okay. So you just need the approval from the finance director.
Yes.
Okay. We got it. Thank you.
John,
Thank
your
you.
motion- John, the motion is with you.
Oh, yeah.
F2.
Yeah. All right.
Want me to read it for you,
Oh,
John?
wait a minute. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. It's on the screen too. Okay. I move that the Board of Selectmen vote pursuant to Article 5 of July 11th, 2020 Annual Town Meeting to approve and award a contract in the amount of $474,996.83 to Stephen Corporation.
Sutphin.
Stuffin
Sutphin.
from Dublin, Ohio, to purchase a Stuffin heavy-duty custom pumper.
John, don't you think they could have rounded it down, to $9.96 or $9.97?
Yeah, really.
3 cents, $500,000, you get 83 cents afterwards. All right, anyway. Just,
You know these accountants, Jack.
well, no, I don't know these accountants. They're not my,
Oh, by trade, that's all.
well, here a second, Gary.
Second,
All in favor? Aye.
John,
Gary.
I,
aye.
Unanimous. Thank you. Thank you, Chief. John, you're still on. Approval of the community house, the CPA grant approval.
oh, yeah, where's that? Hold on. Okay, I move that the Board of Selectmen approve the community preservation grant agreement with the community house for the heating system. This goes back quite a ways in discussions, and it's $50,000, and it's from CPA funds.
So the CPA committee obviously delved into this in great detail, and they recommended this, and it was approved at the town meeting. No, it wasn't approved at the town. It's going to be approved at this fall town meeting, right?
No, it was approved July 11, 2020.
Oh, it was. Okay, I
That's
forgot
the
about
town
that.
meeting, yes,
So all we're
Yep.
doing is ratifying that, right?
yes. And I was in attendance at the CPA hearing on this, and there was a lot of information being given, so it was actually reduced down from 90-something thousand to 50,000.
Okay, we all want to support the community house, and CPC is CPA.
John, that's correct. It was not reduced down. It was always 50,000.
Yeah, it was always 50,000. The issue was the original CPA grant agreement had a historic preservation that went on in perpetuity. The community house felt that the heating system doesn't go on in perpetuity. That
What kind of a heating system is that?
Oh, that's right, yeah.
switched it to a 29-year. They requested a 29-year historic preservation. And that was what the change was.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. So I'll second that motion. Gary?
Aye.
Aye. John?
John, I,
Congratulations, community house. We want to support you as much as we can, certainly with the CPC. All right, now we're going to H. Potential approval for a day for a special time in the fall of 2020. And open the warrant. So as everyone knows, hopefully most people know that we truncated our annual town meeting in July 11th to only those financial articles, other pressing matters which we had to present and have approved at the town meeting, which we did. And again, thank you for so many people showing up. What was the final count? 440-ish at that town meeting, Anthony?
Yeah, that's around 446, yeah, around there.
Wow. And that we've got a lot of comments that went off well, and I predicted it would be an hour and 15 minutes. I was 6 minutes off. Anyway, it was a great meeting. So now we have to do the rest of the business, which we would ordinarily have done had we had a full town meeting. And that one of the items is what we're about to talk about here, and that is selecting a day for it. So I think September's too early, November's too late. I think October's a nice month to have it. It's not going to snow, hopefully. We want to pick a date, hopefully on a Saturday. I'm hoping that we can have it at the Buca Gymnasium instead of outdoors to save money. And that I'm looking at the month of October. I'm talking to one of my colleagues today, another one. I know that you and I, Anthony, talked about October 24th. If I'm mistaken with that, let me know.
Actually, Jack, it was the 17th we were talking because the early election was going on. So I think I thought that was the date. Gary, we're talking about that today too?
Yeah, I think that the 17th was the preferred date, as the 24th would be in the middle of early voting for the presidential election. You know, we don't want Halloween on the 31st. The 10th is a 3-day weekend with the Columbus Day. So I'm thinking probably the 17th is the day to go for.
I agree. I was going to get there eventually. And that, so October 17th, and that for the Bessie Bucher Auditorium, we have a quorum issue of, I think it's 120. And that I'm going to read the motion. And there's actually two motions. Move the Board of Selectmen select October 17th, 2020 as the date for the special town meeting. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
I've got a comment, Jack.
Is that what?
I've requested a couple of
Yeah,
times
go ahead.
to please provide the board with an updated agenda of that meeting. I think it's
Yeah.
very irregular to try to plan a meeting if you don't know what the agenda is.
I think the very next meeting, John, we should have a description of that because we're going to open up the warrant tonight as well. So that we have, I think most of us know what it is, but we should have it in writing. You're right.
Yep.
And I think that, Anthony, would you please provide that as an agenda item for our next meeting, please?
Yeah, just, it's in your packet too. There's the postponed articles, all the list of the articles that right now that we pushed off to the fall. So it was on the second agenda item, or second in your packet, right after H.
Okay, I didn't get that far, I guess. I had too many other things to see. All right, so I think that should be not only provided, but a thorough discussion by the board to make sure that we're not going to either forget something that we need to have there or overwhelm the meeting itself.
I think they're generally prescribed, John, and I don't think we have much choice of what we're going to do, but anyway, yes. So is that a yes vote, John?
Yes, it is.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. I think a unanimous vote for October 7th.
Yes.
And by the way, we probably need to select a time as well. I didn't have that in my repertoire to talk about. And that, what time should we have it, Anthony? Is that a 1 o'clocker or you want to do it in the morning?
I think we discussed a morning, but that's the Board of Selectmen's call. I think that from what I got from feedback, people liked the morning, so they had the afternoon.
Okay, how about 10 o'clock in the morning? How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Is that a Saturday?
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so you can mow your lawn and do your chores and, show up. So, John, you agree with 10 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, I would think earlier is better. Again, knowing what the agenda is so that we can try to time it out. We've had a failure a year or two ago where we overwhelmed the meeting with too many items there, and it went on and on too long. So I'm very concerned about the agenda.
I think the morning meeting is good. I mean, 9
Yep.
o'clock. I mean, Gary, do you have any preference of being 9 and 10 o'clock?
No, I think, too early. I mean, people not going to want to get up too early, but I think 10 o'clock's a reasonable time. Get up, be able to get to the meeting, and that will allow us to hopefully get through all the articles and be out of there at a reasonable time. So the afternoon will be free for people.
Anyway, 10 o'clock. And so that, all in favor of 10 a.m., October 17th for a special town meeting? Aye.
Clemency, aye.
Gary Cheeseman, aye.
Okay, unanimous. Next, we want to open up the warrant for that meeting. But we have to do that. I move that the Board of Selectmen vote pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 39, subsection 10, if I'm saying it right, to open the warrant for the October 17th, 2020 special town meeting forthwith, and to close said warrant on Tuesday, September 22nd, 2020. Said town meeting to be held at a place to be determined, which I've already said, which will be the presumably the schools, Family Wenham School District will allow us to do this on Saturday mornings. I don't see why they wouldn't. They have in the past for the last 50 years. Anyway, it'll be held at the Bucher Gymnasium, I'm gonna call it. Have a second on that one.
I'll
Second,
second the motion. Okay.
All in favor? Aye.
Gary, aye.
Clemency, aye.
Okay. I should have asked for questions.
Hey, can I just get your attention, everybody? Are you having sound problems? Because you guys are all breaking up on me quite a bit, and I've never had that problem in a long
No.
time.
Well, I'm just speaking for myself. I haven't. I can hear you very clearly, John. I can hear everybody else very clearly too, but I'll let the others comment on that.
Good reception here, and Gary.
Yeah, I can hear you good, well, Gary. Jack, you're the one that's breaking up a fair amount. I'm not sure about Anthony.
I'm breaking up. Okay, maybe it's my age.
All right.
I don't know. So that
Okay.
uh,
Thank you.
next is Jay, which is still me. No, it's Gary.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Discussion of potential approval of date for annual town meeting. We just did that.
You did the special in the fall. This is the annual.
Oh, yeah. Right. So we have to think about next year now. So that I think this was on the agenda, but Anthony, you refresh my memory. You've had a discussion.
Gary, yeah, again, Gary and I were talking. I think Gary had a conversation with the chairman of the Hamilton Board of Selectmen. So Gary, I don't know if you want to take it away and.
Well, before he does that, this is my point. I'd like to see an email or a letter or something from your counterpart in Hamilton, along with their Board of Selectmen, recommending a particular date and time for the annual town meeting. And that I'm reluctant to set a date now without an affirmative response from the town of Hamilton of what day they prefer their own town meeting. So we can piggyback on that. So that if we don't have that, and I understand we don't, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. Do we have something in writing from them? Particularly the Board of Selectmen.
Gary?
No, we don't have anything in writing. We just had a email indication that they were thinking about 1 May. So perhaps tonight, what we should do is propose from the Wenham side our date, and then have Anthony coordinate with Hamilton so that both towns can coordinate, and at the next meeting, we can take affirmative votes both at the Hamilton Board of Selectmen meeting and at our Selectmen's meeting.
I'm happy with that. I don't want to set a date without knowing definitively whether they agree with this or not. So I'm happy with that.
My understanding their preference is the May 1st date, so I'll confirm that up with Joe and tell them if that's a date they want to go with. We're fine with that date. And
Yes, I think, do we want to take a a vote that we would propose the 1 May
Sure.
to Wenham.
So why don't you make that, vote? Why don't you frame it? Go ahead.
All right, then I would move that the Board of Selectmen propose 1 May as a date for the annual town meeting, subject to coordination and confirmation that Hamilton agrees to that date.
Very good. I'll second that. All in favor?
John, I.
Gary, I.
Jack Willem, aye. So all we're doing is proposing a date, subject to confirmation, as Gary just said a minute ago. So that if we can get written confirmation on that, we can button this up at our next selectmen's meeting and set the date. Confirm the date, I should say. All right. Gary, you have J, discussion of vote to execute warrant for state primary election.
Yeah, so the state primary election, and the motion is, I move that the Board of Selectmen vote in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 39, Section 10, to execute the warrant for the state primary election to be held on Tuesday, September 1st, 2020, from 7 a.m. in the morning to 8 p.m. at night at a location to be determined, and direct that the constable post said warrant forthwith.
Do I hear a second from you?
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
John, I.
Gary, I.
Very good, Gary. Thank you.
Late breaking on that one.
Excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry, Anthony, go ahead.
Late breaking on that one. We did get confirmation back by the superintendent that May 1st was available, so we'll be using the Bucca School for that primary.
So if I could just clarify that, this is Diane Bucco. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So the state primary, we did get permission from the school district to have that at the Bucca School, and I do need you to put that in your vote, because that's a different location than where we normally vote.
All right, I'll reread it quick then.
Thank you.
Move that the Board of Selectmen vote in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 39, Section 10, to execute the warrant for the state primary election to be held on Tuesday, September 1st, 2020, from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. at the Bucca School, and to direct the constable to post said warrant forthwith.
Parenthetically, subject to the approval of Diane Bucco, close paren. Just kidding. I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
John, I.
Gary, I.
Jack Wilhelm, aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so that I have the best motion of the whole agenda, right? I move that we adjourn. It's now.
Second your motion.
Yes, it's, I have 7:48, and all in favor of adjourning? Aye,
Gary, I.
Menzi, aye.
we're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.